Hey everyone, it's Alexander Robinson. Welcome to the channel. And this is my review for Polite Society, which is a British film about two Pakistani sisters living in the United Kingdom. Our main character is Priya Khan, who is a teenager who has aspirations to be a stunt woman, and her older sister Lena wants to be an artist, or at least aspire to be an artist, but that didn't work out. She dropped out of art school, and now she is in an arranged marriage to marry a doctor. But Priya is very suspicious about this man that she just met that she already agreed to marry. So she plans to stop this wedding at all costs because she feels like there's something more going on with this man that her sister is going to marry. When I first saw the trailer for this movie, I was really impressed, and it instantly jumped up to my list of movies that I really wanted to see this year. Because I've recently fallen in love with smaller scale genre movies. Even if they aren't like perfect, I do admire these movies for a lot of creativity, imagination, and originality. A few examples of movies that fall into this category are Ready or Not, Guns Akimbo, and I'd even throw in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yes, it did win Best Picture at the Oscars. Yes, it is more mainstream than the other two movies I mentioned, but it certainly is more creative and original and wacky than most mainstream action genre movies out there. And Polite Society very much falls into that category. And I want to apologize in advance to Ben Affleck because he made my favorite movie of 2023 for less than a week. Polite Society right now is my favorite movie of the year. Now, the beginning of this movie was actually quite tame. It felt pretty grounded. There was nothing about it that really pushed it over the edge into being over the top and zany like some of those other movies I mentioned. But that doesn't really last long because early in the movie and then throughout, there are a handful of action sequences with great stunts, disregard for property damage that no one even acknowledges, and I think that just kind of made it a lot more funny. I don't want to spoil any plot details, but there is an action scene in the middle of the movie where the two sisters are fighting each other in their own home. There's faces getting smashed into picture frames, there's people crashing through doors and destroying shelves, and the parents are just like, "Come on down, time for dinner." And that just made me laugh. In normal situations, that may have been a problem, but considering the movie embraces its weird nature, I just kind of went with it. Especially once we get to a twist in the movie. When we get more details on why Lena is in this arranged marriage, it pretty much goes into science fiction level. Again, I won't say what happens, but there's a lot of metaphorical aspects that you can look at with this twist. And then the cast of this movie is pretty fantastic. Priya Kansara is the main character in this movie, Priya Khan, and she is really good. She has a lot of energy, she's charming, and you can tell that she does really love her sister, played by Ritu Arya. The lengths that she'll go to try to protect her sister might be outlandish and in ways very impractical, but you could tell that her commitment is there. Like, she really loves her sister, and this is probably one of the better movies about sister relationships in a while. So yeah, both actresses are great, and I hope they keep going forward within their career because they certainly have charisma, and I hope to see them in more movies in the future. The comedy in this movie actually works really well. Like I mentioned, there are some impractical things that happen that are so over the top and outlandish that you laugh along with the movie because it decides to embrace those moments. But most of the comedy actually comes from one of Ria's friends, played by Bruccoleri. This character, this actress, had me laughing throughout the entire movie every time she was on screen because her physical comedy is perfection. She has so many goofy facial expressions, and honestly, she reminded me of somebody from my improv class, right down to looking identical to this person in my class. So maybe that's why I was laughing harder than most people in that theater, but there were a lot of laughs, so the comedy worked well, and she was at the center of it. If I had any issues with the movie, it's that there are a few moments, just a few, where some of the action choreography didn't really work all that well, and maybe it's because of all the elegant dresses that these characters are wearing, which It's an accomplishment in itself that they can perform these stunts in these dresses, but I just didn't think it had the impact that some of the earlier scenes did. And also, I'm not sure what the title of the movie means, Polite Society, but whatever, that's just me. At the end of the day, it's still my favorite movie of 2023 so far. I have confidence that this will stick around for my best of the year list. Because as I said on Twitter, this movie is a prime example of why I've fallen in love with these smaller scale genre movies. So for that, I'm gonna say worth seeing in your lifetime. I'm not gonna go that far into say get off your ass and go see it right now because the movie didn't really hit me on an emotional level, but it's creative. The action scenes are just spectacular, even with a few of the issues I had with the choreography. But because it has so much imagination, creativity, and heartfelt storytelling, this is a movie that I really cannot recommend enough. For those of you who are complaining that movies are nothing but comic book movies, adaptations, or remakes, then you're not looking hard enough, because every once in a while there is an original film that comes up. You just have to find it, and Polite Society, for me, is that original movie that I'm going to be talking about through the rest of the year. And there you go, that's my review for Polite Society. I hope you enjoyed it. And now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button to get notifications. You can also follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. I'll see you guys in the next video, but until then, have a good day and take care of yourselves.